View Nursing Home Wellness Center, and they are evacuating patients in wheelchairs. As you see embers flying through the wind, they're trying to get the cars out of the street. That's what I just heard police saying. They're trying to get the cars out of the street and the parking lot so they can get these patients into a safe location. Now, there are a few ambulances, but there's still traffic coming this way. I'm looking over here and I'm seeing that they're using, oh, I see, they're using a small truck to get some of these people out of the way. It's getting harder and harder to see here, and very smelling like smoke. I want to get out of the way and let my photographer, Susan Monroe, get some of these people. Obviously, they had no time to prepare before they had to get out as these embers are flying and the ambulances are coming here. There are certain, first responders. I'm trying to get a look on the other side of the street. It looks like there are several police officers and also ambulances trying to evacuate these people. Again, we're here on Washington Boulevard at the Pasadena Park Healthcare and Wellness Center. Some of these patients appear to be in very severe condition. Another person, he was screaming that he couldn't breathe. It's hard for us to breathe, and we are standing and walking here. The lights on the street have gone out. Looks like the street lights are out, and I cannot even see the wellness center from across the street. That is how thick the smoke is right here. It's very hard to say. I was listening to Darsha Phillips as she says she has covered many fires in California, as have I. But when things move this quickly and the embers fly, you do not have a moment's notice. You have maybe minutes, seconds to get your things and get out. Again, if you pan this way, you'll see pillows on the street as they're trying to get these patients here. The first responders trying to, again, clear the streets. The buses in front of us out of service. Very chaotic here in Altadena.
We know we want to stay on the patients as much as possible to see what's happening, but this is a tedious situation because this looks like it is a skilled nursing facility of some sort, as you said, a wellness center, and these are people who need care, and so to get them out of harm's way and get them on the buses but still tend to their medical needs, my gosh, you have to feel for these people who are assisting here. It is just a very difficult situation.
And you can see many of them have oxygen tanks that they are just holding on to. They're strapped to the wheelchairs. Some people have their items in bags. They're being assisted by the people who are here. Some of the people working with the healthcare center. Others look like they're in plain clothes, so possibly family members. And I'm trying to get out of the street so we can see really what is happening over here. McDonald's parking lot now taken over by cars and first responders trying to get in to this area. But again, if you'll see the people on stretchers and just the effort, the very rapid effort to try to get these people out of harm's way. As we now see, I mean, I'm looking, I can see some lights at the wellness center, but truthfully, it is black and windy out, hard for us to see, and we're wearing goggles. I can't imagine what it's like for some of these patients who cannot breathe, and some of these first responders who are actually running back and forth across the street. One of the officers told me, or I overheard him saying, they're trying to get them as far away from the hospital as they can, but truthfully, you can only go a few blocks before you run into more parking lots that are, oh look, let's take a look here. So it looks like we have a city bus, a Pasadena transit bus that is going to help evacuate some of these patients. Are you getting ready to put patients onto this bus, sir? Sir, are you going to be putting patients on? Are they going to be using this? Okay, that's a very good use of city transit here. So there is a little bit of traffic on this side. It might be people who are local, who live over here. But again, many of the the street lights are out. You can see blinking lights in the distance, but as we were coming towards this area, the street lights are out. So you really have to tread carefully. We're going to go closer to this area.
Macy,
walking back to the parking lot here.
Macy, as you make that walk, any idea, and just give us a rough estimate if you can, how many patients have you seen being removed from that facility?
I'm going to say I've seen at least 40 patients.
Wow.
And they just keep coming.
My goodness.
You know, it's quite a lot, and I imagine that if someone has a family member here, these people in plain clothes, they've likely rushed over here to try to get their family members out of harm's way. And we can see.
And the pictures that we're seeing, very few of them are walking out, standing up. A lot of them are being wheeled out in wheelchairs. Some of them are being assisted by, you know, administrators with that wellness center to get to that bus or to that ambulance. So a lot of these folks obviously need assistance.
You can see this person in a wheelchair with the no shoes on, the blanket just dragging in the street. And those gusts of winds keep hitting us, and I can imagine they're hitting the patients as well. Very difficult to breathe and really open your eyes.
Yeah, that's so hard on them, and it's also very scary. It's scary for anyone who's out in the middle of this. I can imagine what their family members must be thinking if they are watching or hearing about this. But thank goodness, as you said, people are there assisting them. To see that city bus, it just gives you some hope that they're going to be able to get all the people out and hopefully away from the fire. But I wanted to ask you, how close are you to actual flames right now? I know the smoke is bad, but how close is the fire?
You know, Kathy, if I can, I'm looking at the facility now. I do not see flames, but I see lights. I thought it was an orange glow. I think those are police lights. The smoke is too thick for us to actually see the flames. And I am struggling myself because the wind is blowing so quickly, blowing off this mask I'm wearing here. But really, I cannot see past the lights, so I can't see a block in front of me. I will say that I do not see active flames. I see smoke, thick smoke in front of me, all around us. We've seen embers. The embers have slowed down. I see a few of them in the air. So obviously there is fire coming from just north of us where the mountains are.
Yeah, could you imagine? Obviously, you have the environmental elements, you have the fire, you have that smoke in the area, and these patients who need assistance to get to where they're going. As we give you that live picture there on the right there, you see some folks with that wellness center, you know, leaving the scene, but we saw them earlier here tonight, you know, carting some of those patients out.
Yeah, and we can plan for this. We know, we hear the weather reports, we know the winds are coming, but in a way you can't plan for something like this happening, having to evacuate because we just don't know where the fires are going to pop up. And we were covering Palisades. All of a sudden we got word, oh, there might be something happening in Altadena. Oh, there is a small fire. And suddenly it has erupted into this, and it has only been a matter of a couple of hours.
The interesting thing about to note about these fires is that there's no start and finish lines to any of them. These firefighters have their, you know, heads on a swivel because, you know, right when you think you're handling one part, you know, you got 3 other spot fires, you know, popping up around. And again, now we have the evacuation order in parts of the city of Santa Monica now when we talk about the Palisades fire. So again, what we're looking at here is the Eaton fire, now up to 400 acres. And we see evacuations here of this Pasadena Park Healthcare and Wellness Center on Washington Boulevard now being evacuated with those patients.
I can't even imagine what it takes to try to coordinate this with the patients that need critical care, the patients who have to be carried out on a stretcher. Macy, the winds just look so incredible. We can hear them. We see how you're struggling. Yeah. It seems like they're not letting down at all.
Show you before we probably have to move. Just this area right here in front of the wellness center, there were firefighters trying to wet it. He screamed out, we've got to get wet this area here because there are now embers coming down. They're on the ground and the wind is getting stronger and stronger. You can see if you look at those embers over there, Susan Monroe's my photographer here, you can see them on the ground as they are flying, and they're moving the cars out of this area. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right. Yeah, Macy, again, so many elements to what is happening with this particular scene here. Much of what we've seen in the Palisades over the course of the last, 7, 8 hours here. We want to bring in a meteorologist, David Bicker, right now, obviously keeping a very close eye on the situation.